Hello, we are Unlucky Frog, and welcome to another unboxing video. Done quite a few of these of late.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm Ben Porter, and I'm joined by
Tom Mannering.
There we go. And we have a brown box.
We do.
Yeah. So we're scraping the barrel a bit, and we found this in the back and thought, do you know what? It's a box.
Let's see what's inside.
Yeah. So without further ado, why don't you use this very sharp knife to
cut away from
you?
Look
at that.
Precise art.
Professional. Surgical precision, some might say.
There we go.
So, what is in the box? It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head! More plastic. Oh, look. It's a badge! No, I'm just kidding, there's other stuff.
So, we have got tightly packed in. Damn!
Kill Team. It's pretty heavy as well, actually.
It's hefty.
It's monstrous. Right, so we are going to dive in and get this opened up. So stay where you are, and we'll be back in a moment. So, Kill Team. What is Kill Team, Tom?
So it's Warhammer 40,000 skirmish equivalent of the game. It takes it to a much smaller level.
Sure.
So you're looking at maybe a team of 5 to 20 individuals with a lot more character battling out on a smaller arena, a lot more terrain, a lot more going on, a lot busier, and your characters can develop. So it's kind of a cross almost between an ongoing campaign, maybe storyline, and a war game.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we heard is that the team that designed Shadespire have been brought in to do this. So that again, I guess, is indicative of quite a different tone from the larger scale 40k games. So this is the starter set we've got here, and it is Adeptus Mechanicus versus Genestealer Cults.
Correct.
So who are those guys?
So Adeptus Mechanicus are sort of the Imperium's technologically advanced soldiers. They're kind of the guys who've done the works on the tanks. They've got all the funky prototype equipment. Sure. The Genestealer cultists, they're sort of linked loosely to the Tyranids. They're an alien brood mentality, sort of a hive mentality, and they're people that have fallen into sort of worship of the Genestealer ideology, maybe even been sort of tricked into it, and have taken that to the streets.
And they look horrifying.
They're pretty nasty. Yeah,
Josh was talking a while back, because Genestealers are quite an old faction. I didn't realise this, but they've got the old limo.
Yeah, so back in the day, the old Genestealer cultists had like sort of trench coats and sort of a limousine, and they got phased out, but now they've brought them back in force.
More in fitting with the grim darkness of the far future.
Just a little bit.
So, let's get it open. You do the honours.
It is a hefty box, so we'll be
quite a weight.
Careful not to injure anyone.
We were saying in between takes about how nice the orange and grey aesthetic is. Right away, you can identify Kill Team products from the other Games Workshop. Yeah, from 10,000 yards away. Yeah. So, do it. Box fart.
No, it doesn't look like it.
No.
It's smooth. There we go.
Look at that. And we've got a piece of paper that says Kill Team.
It's got artwork.
Yeah.
Flip that around. There we go. Some nice artwork.
Good box smell there.
New box smell.
Yeah.
Can't beat
Love
new
it.
box smell.
Some bags.
Can't beat a baggie.
Can they whack a bag? And what have we got here?
We've got some bases.
Some bases, yeah.
Stuff.
Need them.
So we've got colour coordinated minis from the looks of it.
Yeah, they're really pushing this coloured plastic at the moment. I think that obviously recognising that there are people that just can't be arsed painting models, you know.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
So red looks like the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yep.
From the looks of it. Grey, classic grey, looks like the Gene Stealers.
And
what colour would you say that is? Sort of
that's like a beige kind of sand colour.
Is a lot of terrain. Lots of terrain.
That the trademark Gothic industrial aesthetic there. Then you get the sort of steepled windows and then all the gears and gauges.
Imperial Griffins, we'll have a look at that a bit later.
Loads of terrain.
And then we got another bit of paper. This is a bonus, unless you're a tree. More artwork.
Bonus unless you're a tree. In which case it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's haunting. And then we've got the core rulebook.
And again, similar to Soul Wars, big rulebook.
Yep.
So
Softback.
Gone are the days where the Games Workshop starter sets gave you the smaller truncated rulebooks.
Mm-hmm.
You get the real thing now.
That's the full shebang.
We've got some sort of measuring implement as well.
I would imagine this is the gaming board itself.
Yep.
So pop that down there for
Get
now.
some nice Imperial iconography on that as well.
I believe it's double-sided as well. Tokens.
Yep. So, like you're saying, with Kill Team being a smaller team, there's a bit more detail to the rules and things. So you've got status effects and
Definitely,
such.
yeah. So you can go into things like Overwatch and things like that, I imagine. And then you've got 2 books inside this, one for each faction, so one for the Gene Stealers and one for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Dice, essential. No gamer would be without them.
There we go.
And then we've got cards. So these are things like tactics, command abilities, and I believe, this will be the standard faction in case you just want to play it straight out of the box.
Bonus extra base.
Free base, guys.
Yes! Right, so I think we'll maybe have a look at the rulebook next.
Yeah,
so
dig in.
Yep, stay tuned and we'll have a deep dive into the rulebook. Alright, so let's have a look at the core manual for Kill Team. So we got some very nice artwork on the front, and you said that's the Raven Guard.
I believe so, yeah.
I'm totally useless when it comes to 40k knowledge, so Tom is our guide.
Don't say expert.
I said guide. He's our guide through the 40k universe. So without further ado, let's have a wee look through it then.
All right.
So one of the things that we were saying just before we started recording was that Games Workshop have been churning out the skirmish games at the moment, and and Shadow War's actually mentioned
At the very start.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how does Kill Team differ from those?
I think from what I've seen, Kill Team was sort of the quintessential skirmish for Warhammer 40,000 sort of post Necromunda days. In the more recent editions. But it was always kind of a tag on to the main game.
Sure.
This is sort of a standalone version of that, and I think from what I saw of Shadow War and what I saw in Necromunda as well, they've taken a lot of what they've learned from those games to bring them into them. So I think there is a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be naive to say that isn't the case. But I think they've refined some of the rules and they've expanded out a little bit what you can do within that sort of system.
Yeah.
So I think the goal with Kill Team, from what I've seen, is to really kind of add on to that kind of skirmish content that you saw in Shadow War, and maybe take a few learnings from Necromunda. Yeah. So let's have a look at some of the core rules. So we got first section is the core rules section. A lot of this, even at a glance, looks quite similar to Warhammer 40,000 in its current iteration.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got things like data sheets, which is that's the 40k version of the War Scrolls from Age of Sigmar, and the format's almost identical as well, isn't it? And
it's been a well received format. You've got still got the keywords as well, which you've seen in obviously both games now. Go straight on to the playing the game, so that's no messing around.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this is it's split into phases, which they've used before. It's not a new thing. Uses 6 phases: initiative phase, movement phase, psychic phase, shooting phase, fight phase, and morale phase. So it looks like everything's been kind of separated off into playthroughs.
Yeah.
Lots of pictures of how to play, so that's good.
Yeah. Again, full colour rulebook.
Yep.
Lots of nice photographs. Essential information bolded.
Lots of full colour stuff as well, like full page.
Yeah.
So you got an example battle round in it. That looks great. So there we go. We move on to fighting your first battle.
Yeah.
So this is going to run you through your first mission. Open play mission. Looks pretty simple. Both take a side of the board. And then it's moving straight on to your advanced rules. So there's no sort of dilly-dallying getting into the meat and bones of it. And I mean, that's 40 pages. That's covered your core rules. So it's
it's fairly concise.
Yeah, good bit of stuff, but not too much.
Yeah.
Now this is one of the things I really like about Kill Team that they mentioned here is kill zones. And this is that the terrain plays a really big factor, not just in setting up the game, but also in actually playing through it.
Yeah.
And the game actually takes place in different kill zones. So if you're playing on a jungle, you're going to get a very different experience to playing on sort of a ruined city.
But just looking at this picture here, it's a much smaller area than you would use for the other games,
Definitely,
even some of the other skirmish games, because I think, and even the scenery, like not only is it a smaller area, there's a lot of scenery packed into there, whereas with Age of Sigmar, you're playing more often than not on a 6x4 table, and it's about one piece of scenery per 2 foot square area, whereas there's a lot there, a lot going on, very busy.
I think this is in a way it's a little bit more dining room table friendly, maybe, because you could just unfold that board and play on the dining table. And I think that's beneficial for a skirmish game. Definitely, you don't want to be setting up a 6x4 to play with 24 models.
Yeah, I mean, and there's definitely I think the tabletop gaming market is changing in general, and I think that Games Workshop are recognising that not everyone wants to play a 2-hour war game with 100 troops aside. Yeah,
and move all the tables in their house together. Yeah. So this talks you through all the different sorts of things that happen outside of the game. So this is talking about things like open play, match play, narrative play, and I know they exist in other formats as well that Games Workshop are running at the moment.
That's the holy trinity that they're using throughout most of their games, I think, isn't it?
It is.
That, you play the game the way you want to play it.
Yep. Scouting phase, so this is stuff that happens before you begin the actual game, where you can get a bit of info on the enemy team, maybe.
Bit of scene setting.
Yeah. Open play missions. So there's loads of different missions for each different style as well, so you're not tied to any one style to get the content.
And again, the templates for the battlefields are a lot smaller than the ones you see on the missions and the battle plans for the bigger games.
So then we get to the meat and bones of it, the actual kill teams themselves. So
some stunning artwork again.
Yep, and I mean these are all the different teams that you can fix. Now if my numbers are right, I think there's 16 teams available at the moment, with more on the way.
And that's 16 teams with all the customization options
that are available. Yep. So there are 3 main elements of customization. You've got your leader, your specialists, and your core, your bulk. And your leader can be customized to have different abilities. Your specialist can be sort of heavy weapons, medics, things like that. And this goes into that. Your leader grants you command points and abilities you can use. So we've got sniper special abilities if you want to make one of your specialists a sniper. Leader, combat.
We've got skill trees as well.
Demo, skill trees.
Little RPG elements coming in there.
So it's kind of a Skyrim pop up into the clouds.
Yeah.
So loads of different options in your specialist, zealots, veterans, and then it starts to take you through each different faction, and they've got different missions, different backgrounds, different quirks. So there's a lot of sort of, as you mentioned, there are roleplay elements to this. That maybe don't exist quite so much in Shadow War, and even less in sort of Necromunda as well, I'd say, although it does exist in Necromunda more than Shadow War.
You actually get name generators.
Yep. So
it is like an RPG book, isn't it?
So you're not going to get stuck on naming all your Marines. So there's your different Marine options.
Yeah.
So you've got a good bit of choice there, loads of weapons to choose from, and that's one faction.
So the box sets that we've seen, like the Ulrich's Reavers, it's 5 of the Reaver Marines. I take it you can mix and match types as well, so you could have like an intercessor with like 4 Reavers or vice versa.
This is moving away from sort of the squad of 5 normal, dudes that are all the same, and this is all about each guy has their own personality. And I think especially with Space Marines, where you're going to have a small team, you're going to have maybe 3 to 6 guys. you're going to be able to give them a lot of character.
Yeah, it is the Expendables 40k edition.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I'd be well on for that. So, Grey Knights, loads of representation of all the different factions here. So we're just on the Imperium. There's a fair bit of Imperium.
Loads there.
Still Imperium. Here we go, Chaos.
Heretic Astartes.
Yep. And again, backgrounds, missions, plenty of stuff for them.
Yeah.
Different tactics for each team.
And again, this is just the base set, and you've already got a huge amount of customization. And I dare say, if it's popular enough, they'll add even more into it. So,
well, there's already been mention of a Rogue Trader team coming in, and we've not seen Rogue Traders in 40k at all.
They teased the box set a while back, didn't they?
So I'm interested to see if they bring any other new things in as well.
Yeah.
Someone out there is screaming for squats right now already.
I think it's very much in keeping with this other change of tack that we've seen with Games Workshop over the last couple of years, where you can have a group of models that you can use across multiple systems.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like most of your Age of Sigmar models, you could proxy them in Shadespire, I guess. You can use them in Skirmish, you can use them in Age of Sigmar, and you can use them in Warhammer Quest and other games like that. So, and you've got that here with Kill Team, haven't you?
And that's great, to be able to sort of dip into all the different systems with your models, especially ones that you're putting a lot of care and attention to. You don't want them to just sit on a shelf gathering dust because you stop playing the system. So all the different Eldar, they have different names now, but I'm going to go with Eldar.
Most of the book is customization options.
It is, yeah.
Which is awesome.
A lot of different customization, and plenty of content for everyone. I mean, even Necrons, who are fairly simplistic, have plenty of options there.
There's a lot of character to them there, yeah.
Cool. So that's all the different factions there. I'm going to dig into them all individually.
I have to say, I'm really impressed with what I've seen of the rulebook, and as you know, and as some of our viewers and listeners will know, I'm not overly into 40k, but this has definitely piqued my interest.
Excellent. Well, we'll have a look at a bit more of it and see what we think.
Yeah, so we're going to have a look at some of the other books in just a moment.
So you're quite new to this. You said you're not as up on the 40k and the skirmish. So the great thing about this is it comes with a begin here section. So this nice little card pamphlet runs you through from the word go, and
it is just taking you step by step through the game itself. So it doesn't look as though it bogs you down with all the customization options just yet. It's get the basics down first, and then worry about all of that stuff later on, which is absolutely the right way to introduce a game like that.
I think if you've just seen this hit the shelves and it's piqued your interest in Warhammer 40,000 at all, you're not going to come in and have all these rules thrown at you out the gate, especially if you're just wanting to pick this up as a one-off game.
Yeah. So this is quite similar to what they did with Shadespire again. Okay. So it is very much evident that it was the Shadespire team that had been involved in this, because they had, I mean, granted it wasn't a card they had, it was just a sheet, and what they got you to do with Shadespire was you set up half a board and just put 2 characters on it, and just do a couple of moves and some combat.
I remember that from the old games.
Yeah, and then it's like off you go and play the real thing now.
You're good to go.
But that's how to teach a game, right?
Yep. Definitely. Start small.
Yeah. Looking forward to making use of that.
And then we've got a construction guide, and it is a fairly meaty construction guide, to be fair.
And am I right in saying that these are multi-part models?
They are, yeah. So there's no new models in this as such. The terrain is a new release.
Okay.
But the actual minis for the Skitarii Rangers, the Skitarii Vanguard, and the Gene Stealer Cultists are from older box sets. They're still fairly new in the grand scheme of things, but they are multi-part sets that they've included in here that you can build up how you see fit.
Yeah, so a little bit different from some of the other starter sets in that respect, where it's usually the push fit miniatures, but again, that it wouldn't really work with the push fit miniatures. I don't think Kill Team would it.
Yeah, I think you need that level of customization to it, and you've got definitely here a bit of a choice on how you want to do it, and it clearly takes you through what goes where, what you need.
It's even like presenting to you multiple options where they come up.
My favourite, get your Citadel glue clippers, and
because it won't work unless you use a Citadel mold line. That mold line's going nowhere.
It's been designed that way. So loads and loads of guides, and that's pretty dense, there is a lot of information there. It's better than an IKEA sort of building manual, so I'll give it that much.
Yeah. Although it doesn't have the picture of the little sad guy with his broken finger.
That's true. They should maybe include that.
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't do the thing right. Yeah.
I mean, in keeping with sort of nice, easy access, you've got the rules for the things you've just built. So if you want to play the teams that are in the box straight out the box, easy done. There's all the rules for them.
Yep.
Without having to dig through your rulebook. And a nice simple painting guide on the back.
Yep. It gives you some options. Again, all Games Workshop paints, but that's fair enough.
And then we've got books for each team here. So we've got the Skitarii Kill Team, which is Gamazul 881, which is a mouthful.
Yeah.
And the Neophyte Hybrids Kill Team, which is the Gene Stealers, and they're the Devoted Sons.
Bit less imaginative in their naming.
Well, they've not got the time and resources that the Skitarii have. So the Skitarii got a bit of an intro to them.
Well, loads of fluff there.
Lots of fluff here. Really talking you through and giving you a flavour text for it. Beautiful art as well. And then a little bit of an idea of what they're about.
Some pictures of different options.
Colour schemes and builds, and seeing them in action down there as well. Really nice stuff there. And I think that even gives you a little bit of an idea of what they've done in the past. So that's pretty cool.
A little truncated history.
And then I'm imagining you probably got a bit of the same.
Yep, so introduction to the Devoted Sons themselves.
Welcome, faithful one.
Yeah.
That's you now. You're in.
Yeah, making massive assumptions.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I'm just in the door here. Loads of fluff. Give you a bit of a flavour for what they're like, what they get up to. It has to be said, they look pretty unsavoury, these guys.
They do. I get the feeling they're the baddies.
Yeah, I think so.
If I didn't know any better.
Yeah, I mean, if you hang around in sewers, especially sewers that have like green clouds of gas in them, that's usually a bad sign.
Unless you're the turtles.
That's true. They're the exception to the rule, I think. These guys are not. And then again, you've got all the options. That is one vicious looking weapon. That is seismic cannon.
Seismic cannon, yes. So these guys use weaponry that's available to them. So they use mining lasers and things like that.
Sure.
Things that you can get from sort of industrial sites.
Because there's rules for using these guys in Necromunda as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I hadn't seen that.
And obviously with all their industrial and repurposed weapons, they fit right into Necromunda, don't they? And there we go, like you're saying, a little history of them as well. So this is pretty much giving you a flavour for what they're like. There's no rules or anything in here, but again, great little addition.
Yep.
Reinforces this idea of it is not all about tournament play, and in fact I dare say most people don't bother with the tournament play.
I certainly don't.
No.
But yeah, I think the narrative fluff is hot off the press there.
Yep. Well, there we go.
Minis?
Minis.
Let's look at some minis.
We'll look at some minis. Here we are. We've got some colourful sprues in front of us, which can only mean miniatures.
Yes. So I've got the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yep.
You've got the Gene Stealers.
Yep.
So even at a quick glance, you can see on these sprues we have got a lot of options. So we're making maybe 10 up to 15 guys maximum, I'd say, from these. I've got a bit more than you do.
Yep.
But
even here, I've got loads of different weapons.
Yeah, I mean the options.
But there's a bunch of different heads as well.
Heads are important, man.
That's it.
Makes the difference. So I've got quite a few sort of jacketed guys. My guys are probably fans of the Matrix. Yeah. I get that kind of vibe from them.
Quite edgy.
Yeah, sort of late 90s edge. A lot of different weapons, heavy weapons as well, and even like nice little.
That is a massive rifle.
That is I imagine that's one of the sniper specialists.
Do you think he's overcompensating?
It's just the way he is. He's just being himself.
Okay. You do you.
Loads of different little customization options as well. All these kind of optics, pointy fingers. I love pointy fingers. Big fan of.
You there?
That guy over
You're
there.
Dead.
And again on this one, same again. Little customization, little weapon packs.
There's a wee steampunky vibe to them, isn't there?
There is very much a steampunky vibe to them. Yeah, I think that's maybe the inspiration behind these guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got loads of different options. I think I've got about, just at a quick head glance, about 20 heads to choose from.
Yeah, and although, you know, like when we're looking at the instructions, you've got Skitarii Rangers and Skitarii Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
You could mix and match the two
Definitely.
for Kill Team as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the cool things of being able to have a team that can do a bit of everything. You're not limited to one team. What about yourself? What's on your agenda?
So these guys have a very industrial look to them. You know, they do look like they've got like sort of hazmat suits on or something like that. So, you know, it reinforces that sort of gross, depraved vibe to them, I think.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like you've got the seismic cannon there, so that there's very much this theme of like industrial weapons being repurposed, but you've got a wealth of options here. But you also got this creepy staff, which it very much has a sort of religious iconography type vibe to it, so it's reinforcing that idea of them being a cult.
It really evokes that they're kind of following a specific mentality.
Yeah, but I have to say they are pretty distinct from a lot of the other stuff that is out there.
I think what's really good as well is if we wanted to go and play this now, we could build these up. Fair enough, it's going to take a bit longer than your kind of click-togethers. Yeah. But we don't need to bother about painting them and spraying them. I can tell my models from your models quite easily.
We're good to go.
Because of the colouring. And they'll stand out nicely from the terrain and the board as well.
Yeah.
And on that subject, should we move on to the terrain and board?
Let's move on to the terrain.
Okay. The terrain.
Most of this box is terrain. And it's masses of it.
So you mentioned this. There's lots of the kind of traditional Gothic sort of industrial decoration. You probably
again,
can't see it yet,
quasi-religious.
Yeah, it's got that sort of imperial eagle. Lots of bits of it as well that show you the kind of ruin that obviously these places have taken some sort of previous war damage in the war-torn future.
It looks fantastic, but the idea of highlighting all of those rivets.
That's what dry brushing's for.
Yeah, that's it.
Lots, even on these really big sort of flat sections, there's still a lot of detail on there as well. As you say, rivets galore, if you're into that.
Lots of different textures to it as well.
Street lamps, you know. You gotta be able to see where you're going when you're killing people in the street. Advice for life. You've got...
If you're going to kill someone, consider a well-lit area.
So loads and loads of terrain options here.
Yeah.
I don't imagine there's much in the way of kind of customization putting this together, but I think laying it out on the field is where you're going to see.
Do you know the other thing that's impressive about this is that it adds a degree of verticality to the game, which I think is important for a skirmish game, isn't it?
Definitely. I think that's one of the big things that people enjoyed about the original Necromunda was you had that kind of scaling tower. Yeah. And you could have people kind of running underneath each other, and
you could essentially play a game of Kill Team that is taller than it is wide,
which would be great.
Yeah.
And the board for Kill Team, which I believe is just under here.
Is here. Yeah. So this is not plastic.
No. This is card stock.
Yep. So let's quickly get this open. That was a terrible incision I made.
Your surgical career finished.
Yeah, that's me.
Online.
Done. Let's get this open. So it is card, but it is a pretty thick card. So nice and durable. And let's get it open. Doing an awful job at this.
You're doing fine. You got it.
I believe in you. And there you go.
That's sizable. So that's your play field. That's how big you're looking at.
And from what we saw in the book, I think this is the standard gaming area for Kill Team.
And it's two-sided as well, so it does flip over. You got slightly different huge Imperial Aquila or whatever they like to call it over there. What I have seen that I really like is I know future releases are bringing out more of these. with different boards and different terrain inside as well that sort of represent that board. So you're probably going to get a jungle themed board and things like that. So you've immediately got it sort of bringing out the atmosphere of the kind of terrain you want to fight in. And it saves you, if you don't have a gaming board or you don't have access to that kind of space, you've got one there.
There you go. Everything you need to go in the box.
Good times. Anything else we want to look at? I think we've covered. There's the extras, which are fundamentally
cards. Maybe
cards.
There's a lot of them, so we'll not
go through them.
Yeah, but it gives you cost, the abilities, what the ability does, which is great. But so this is completely different from a lot of the other stuff that Games Workshop have been putting out of late. I think it's safe to say that they've been quite sensitive to the changes in the market at the moment, and they've obviously seen the success of these huge big box games that are coming out in Kickstarter, and this is their answer to that sort of thing. It's actually cheaper than most of the Kickstarter games as well.
Your value for money on this, I would say, is decent at the least. You've got the rulebook, which I know is about £25 on its own. You've got the gaming board, you've got all that terrain, you've got your 2 teams, all the extra little bits besides. It's £85 you're going to get it at.
You have literally everything you need to play Kill Team in here.
Apart from glue.
They forgot the glue.
Put glue in.
Drop the ball. Come on, guys.
But I think it's a good buy. You've got a good narrative game that you can play a good narrative story with all the rules that you've got here. You can play a full campaign, 2 players straight off, and anyone that wants to come in just really needs to bring their own models. If one person's got this,
that's it. And it's if someone's already invested in 40k, they can just loan out the hordes of stuff they inevitably have.
And all the other board games they have brought out previously, Shadow one, all the different sort of box sets they've released for Dark Vengeance, things like that, going over the past few years. The minis from that can easily be
that's it. It's all cross compatible, which again is that's something they're really rolling out across their whole range,
which is great.
There you go. That is Kill Team, the Kill Team starter set anyway. I'm quite looking forward to giving this a try at some point, I must say.
I'm looking forward to it,
there you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Spread the word, and we'll see you in the next unboxing.